Amber Heard may not be able to pay the verdict in the most recent defamation action, but she has just stockpiled assets throughout the course of the case. In the defamation litigation that Amber Heard and Johnny Depp brought against each other, the judge ruled in favor of Johnny Depp, and the outcome was regarded as being of utmost significance. At the moment, Heard owes Depp more than $8 million, and it is currently unknown whether or not she possesses the means to make the payment. In spite of the fact that the fight is still ongoing, the situation is as follows. On the other hand, it would appear that Heard has just made a considerable amount of money by selling her home for more than $1 million. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at how Johnny lands a major Amazon movie deal. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. According to TMZ, Amber Heard was the previous owner of a home located in the hamlet of Yucca Valley in the region of California known as Southern California that was just sold for the price of $1,050,000. Prior to the year 2019, there was a great deal of uncertainty over the true owner of the land. The year 2019 saw the property being purchased by a trust. However, through conversations with the current owners of the company, TMZ was able to learn that Heard had previously been the proprietor of the company, despite the fact that the current owners had never interacted with the actress in person. Amber Heard was not only able to access the funds that were stored in the dwelling, but she also made a sizable profit when she sold the property in 2019 for the same amount that she had paid for it initially, which was $570,000. It was a very interesting experience to watch the auction of the property take place right after the judgment was handed down, because it has not been determined whether or not Amber Heard is capable of satisfying the judgment rendered against her. This procedure may be an effort to determine the extent of her financial resources. It's also possible this action was taken to free up trial-related money for a slightly different reason. Despite the fact that it did free up trial-related funds, Amber Heard has announced that she'll appeal the verdict, indicating that she'll likely be obliged to pay her attorneys during the appeal's processing. Even if Johnny Depp's award was reduced as a result of the appeal, the cost of pursuing the appeal would have been money well spent. Obviously, there is a third scenario, which is the sale of the house that has nothing to do with the dispute that is currently being fought. There's a chance that it'll be substantial after all. Imagine that Amber Heard will be compelled to pay Johnny Depp a substantial amount of money. In such a circumstance, the money from the sale of the house she just closed on will undoubtedly be relevant to the judicial procedures. Even if the verdict forces Heard to file for bankruptcy, she will not be protected. Both parties were found to have made unreasonable demands to the other, but Depp was granted a significantly greater sum. Depp was initially awarded a total of $15 million in damages, but due to Virginia law, this figure was later lowered to just over $10 million. Heard received only $2 million in damages. Consequently, the remaining debt of around $8 million that Heard owes at this point remains unpaid. Due to the length of the time required to actually conduct the defamation trial, it is probable that the appeal will not be heard or decided for some further time. The most crucial financial issues will almost certainly have to be postponed until the appeal is heard. When this occurs, a range of extra questions may need to be addressed before proceeding. Amber Heard reportedly sold her California house in an effort to settle her debt with Johnny Depp. She reportedly got around $500,000 in profit from the sale. Zillow's property records indicate that the actor who plays Mera in Aquaman acquired the Yucca Valley home for $570,000 through an anonymous trust in 2019. The actress is able to make a substantial profit of $480,000 thanks to the Southern California property she sold for $1.05 million, which is 75% more than the price she paid for the home 3 years earlier. According to a TMZ article, the new owner of the residence has indicated that he has communicated with Heard's representatives but has never spoken with her directly. According to the sources, the actor is striving to make significant life adjustments and remove herself from the Hollywood area and the excessive media attention she receives. Heard has notified the court that she would appeal its decision in the explosive defamation lawsuit. In a Washington Post opinion piece, she was judged to have defamed her ex-husband. In contrast, one of Heard's 3 counterclaims was successful, and she was awarded $2 million in compensatory damages. In contrast, Depp was granted $10.35 million in damages. The 36-year-old actress expressed her displeasure on Instagram following the verdict. Today's disappointment is beyond description. I'm heartbroken that the pile of evidence was insufficient to combat my ex-husband's excessive power, influence, and persuasion. I'm even more disappointed by the implications of this judgment for other women. It's an obstacle. It turns the clock back to a time when a woman who spoke her mind was publicly embarrassed and humiliated. This undermines the notion that violence against women should be taken seriously, she continued. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below.